morning, my chicken wings. How are you today? Hopefully you're having a good day and you're ready to move on into our statistics unit. We're talking about measures of center. Remember, measures of center are different measurements that find the center of data. Okay, and so previously we talked about mean, which is basically the same thing as the average of all of the data. Today we're going to talk about median and mode. So hopefully by now you have your notes book open to your next available clean page. And you're going to go ahead and write at the top median and mode. And we're going to start by using a word problem. And this word problem is find the median and mode of the following scores. All right, and I'm going to give you a score chart. And we're going to go with 120, 135, 160, 125, 90, 205, 160, 175, 105, and 145. All right, so this is our data set. We have a chart full of numbers here, and we're going to find the median and the mode for this data set. Okay, well, Mrs. Rodriguez, I don't know what the median or the mode are. Okay, so let me tell you what a median is. Median is the value in the middle when the data is arranged from least to greatest. So remember the other day I had explained to you that you should always put your data into a list from lowest to highest, from least to greatest. And this is one of those reasons why we're going to use this list to help us find different data points. And one of those points is going to be median. So median is the middle, okay? And the way that I remember it, because you're going to learn about mean, median, and mode, and the way that I remember that the median is the middle is there is an I in median and there is an I in middle, so median means middle, okay? And then my question also said to find the mode, so we're going to find the mode. Mode is the most common value. So when we have a data set, the value that shows up the most is the mode. So most sounds like mode, so that's how I tend to remember most. Mode, so that I know that, oh, okay, I'm looking for the value or the number that shows up the most in the data set. Okay, with mode, you can also have no mode. All right, you can put a little star there. You can have no mode. For instance, if I told you that my data set was 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, every single one of those values are different, so no number shows up more than the other numbers. So there is no most common value. They're all the same commonality, okay? So let's start by finding the median. The first thing we want to do is put the values in order. So first, put the values in order from least to greatest. Okay, so I have to look at my list and I have to look for the lowest number. That's a 90. And I like to put a little tick there so I know I counted it. 105. 120. 125. 135. 145. 160. Oh, and I got another 160. 175. And 205. And just to double check that I did count all of my numbers and I did write them all down, I'm going to go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I should be on track with my data. Hopefully I was careful and I wrote the correct numbers. That's one of the reasons why I do the ticks. But if you accidentally make a mistake, your data is going to be off. So be very careful. Remember, when you're rewriting, you have to be very careful. Okay, so now I have my data listed from least to greatest. And so you can see my numbers range from 90 to 205. Okay, and I'm trying to find the median first. And the median is the value that is in the middle. But I have 10 numbers. So technically, if I go like this, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, there's really no middle. The middle would be right in here. This would be the middle. Okay? Sometimes if you have an odd number of values, then the middle number is clear. For instance, if this was only 9 numbers, if we didn't have that 205, and now I look and let's just pretend that 205 is not there. So now if I cover each number, well, I covered 1, I covered 2, I cover 3, I cover 4, and look, 135 is the middle. So 135 would be the mean if I had an odd number here, if I had 9. Okay, so those are your basic rules. So if I have an odd number of values, I just use the middle number. Okay? And that's another good reason why you should count your values, because as you count them and you're double checking them, you're going to right there know if you have an odd or an even. All right, then if I have an even number of values, I find the middle two, then add them. Oops, sorry, add them. And divide the sum by 2. So essentially, I'm going to find the mean of the middle two numbers. Okay, so here's our example. We're going to do the mean right here. Median equals 135 plus 145 divided by 2. Because remember, I don't have an odd number, so there's no number right in the middle. It should be here, but it's not. So I'm gonna find out what number would be there if I had one. So when I add 135 and 145, I get 280. And remember, I'm going to divide it by 2. So then I get 140. So my median, I keep doing that, I'm so sorry, equals 140. And if you think about it, 140 would fit right in between there, wouldn't it? 135, 145, what would be the middle if you were counting by 5s? 140. All right, so that's my median. All right, so that's the very middle of the data, okay? Then there's the mode. And the mode, remember, it's just the number that shows up the most often. So my mode just count the values that show up the most. Okay, so I don't have another 90, I don't have another, and it's kind of easy to see when you put them in order like this. That's why this is really important. It's making your life easier finding the information. I don't have another 105. I only have one 120. I only have one 125, one 135, one 145. And look right there, I've got two 160s. So my mode is 160. Easy peasy. All right, let's do one more. We're going to find the median and mode of these bowling scores. I haven't been bowling in a very long time, but I used to enjoy doing it when I was younger. Okay, so my scores. My scores are 120, 160, 185, 210, 150, 215, 150, 185, 190. All right, so remember my first step, I'm going to put them all in order, remember? Okay, so when I put them in order, I'm looking for the lowest one first. I've got 120. Feel free to pause the video and go ahead and do that if you would like to check and see if you can do this on your own. Then I have another 150. I have 160. I have 185. I have another 185. Then I have 190. Then I have 210. And then I have 215. So I've marked them all. I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got my 9 numbers. Okay, so 9 numbers. That tells me I have an odd number of values. So I can go right to the middle and find my median. So my median I go 1, 2, 3, 4. My median equals 185. Then I'm going to find my mode. And for my mode, I'm looking for the number that comes up the most. Okay, when I look through my list, I can see I've got 150. 160 doesn't repeat. Oh, 185 also repeats. And then the others do not. Okay, so just like I said, you can have no mode. You can also have more than one mode if they share the same amount. So there are 2 150s and 2 185s. So I have 150 and 185. Don't write 150 plus 185. It's 150 and 185, okay? Be careful about that. Alrighty guys, that is your lesson on median and mode for today. So you're gonna go do your practice activity and work to find the median and mode for your data sets. Have a great day and I'll see you for our next lesson.